very first video for Weird Worcester. I'm going to be doing a little tour of the laboratory that was used by Robert Goddard way back in the 20s. Today it's a machine shop here at Clark University. For those who don't know, Robert Goddard was the guy who first developed liquid-fueled rockets. In fact, there's a memorial to the very first rocket launches with liquid-fueled rockets in Auburn, next town over from Worcester, in the Pachacoa Golf Course. That happened in, first liquid-fueled launch was in March 16th, 1926, so actually less than 100 years ago. So it's not that long that we've had liquid-fueled rockets. And it all happened right here in Worcester is where it started. So Robert Goddard was educated at Clark University and Worcester Polytechnic Institute. And he taught at Clark University starting in 1914 and began his experiments to develop liquid-fueled rockets. His laboratory, which today is the machine shop, like I said, is in the basement of the physics and mathematics building for Clark University. And I'm actually coming up on it right here. You can see some of his original equipment is still in the lab. It's still in the hallways. For example, this is the lathe that Robert Goddard used to produce the very first liquid-fueled rockets to ever fly on planet Earth. Yeah, it's literally like I can reach out and touch it. It's like right here. And just around the corner over here is the entrance to the machine shop, which is now his laboratory. Or was his laboratory, now it's a machine shop. And one of the things you'll notice is like these are some pretty heavy-duty, thick brick walls. So you had a lot of scientific experiments going on where things could explode. So the walls here are actually really, really thick, so that if something went wrong, the building was undamaged. Now, right now, the machine shop space is divided into two rooms. This is the first one. You can see the mill machines, the CNCs, one of the lathes that they have here, some toolboxes, and this space, very high ceilings. You got a lot of room in here for doing experimentation and for working on the for when Dr. Goddard was here, for working on the rockets and testing some of the original designs, which eventually got to fly out of the Pachacoa Golf Course. Now, one of the cool things you can see in the lab, which this is the second room, by the way. I just walked through that doorway right there. This is the second room. This is all part of the machine shop. The machine shop today produces different pieces of equipment for physics experiments going on in the physics department at Clark University, as well as for some of the engineering experiments that are going on here as well. So any type of design, machine, equipment, pieces of steel, etc., for any experiments, they come here to produce the pieces in order to actually run the tests. Now, in the corner over here, as you can see, is this big outcropping. This is actually an old chimney, and back in Robert Goddard's day, all of his equipment was run off of steam power, and this chimney was part of a coal-fired steam system to actually power up all of his equipment, which included the lathe that I was showing you earlier. So everything that happened with liquid-fueled rockets, our ability to get satellites into orbit, man landing on the moon, all of this stuff happened because right here in Worcester, we had a scientist who had the vision to say, you know what, we can do something better than just solid-fueled rockets. And this space is where it all happened. So, yeah, I'd say this is a pretty cool and weird spot. Actually, there's one more thing I could show you. This is the original motor for the lathe that I was showing you out there. Now, right now, it's being refitted to run off of an electric motor, but originally, this thing was steam-powered. So yeah, even though this was less than 100 years ago when the first liquid-fueled rockets were being produced, we're still running it off steam instead of electricity. Which is kind of crazy. Coal-powered steam. That's how these rockets were originally made. It's absolutely amazing. It's right here in Worcester. So you better come down and check it out. All right, keep it weird, Worcester.